In step 33 of this Institute of Practical Learning course on self-awareness, we list a few of the sources, the authors, the psychologists, to be honest, the customers, the industries, and the various people who have helped us to organize and create this course, which is designed to be of practical use to you as you face this challenging world of work and industry and opportunity. So as a final few minutes, and I think it's appropriate, I should thank not just you for listening to me, but all the many people and institutions that have been a big influence on me during my life. And I'm very happy to just get a real short clip here. Let's start with the psychologists. These people are all great sources of information about psychology and psychiatry. But there's a massive amount these days on cognitive behavior. Now, most of it's about cognitive behavior therapy called CBT. But if you look into the general, what's behind the science of it, there's some quite useful stuff. It's still very much at the beginning. Gestalt theory is extremely useful. The Gestalt theory and cycle. These are things that I have integrated into my way of life, my soft skills. And I've been put through a lot of training by different organizations which utilizes the Harvard Business School stuff, and also especially Harvard run a negotiation thing. Now it's called principle-based negotiation rather than positional and bargaining. So I strongly recommend you, if you're so inclined and you have anything to do with settling arguments or reaching agreements or being what I've been for the last several years, which is called a facilitator. I've done less classroom stuff and far more going to countries and facilitating situations. So I recommend, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's the Harvard research that was funded by the federal government. I think they first got involved when South Africa was trying to get rid of apartheid and create the Rainbow Nation, which they did extremely successfully. And this, the bunch of people from Harvard have developed this methodology. I think one of the books might be called Getting to Yes, but you could check that out. So that's the psychology stuff. In terms of my literary sources and the process of thinking and development of the mind and learning, I think the classics is the place to go. Aristotle wrote some stuff, the physics, but especially Aristotle's metaphysics. They're a bit deep, and some of it, quite honestly, is by modern standards, it's a bit wrong. But basically, you can't go wrong with studying a bit of Aristotle. Cicero's a marvelous guy for his personal philosophy, and he's some of his works on rhetoric, a subject called rhetoric, which would fall under in the SI space, social skills, is how to write a letter. In a way, how to write a proposal, how to do a thank you letter, how to send a letter to someone consoling them in certain circumstances. So Cicero, go for it. Read Cicero's letters and so on. Plutarch, fabulous guy for biographies, probably spelled that wrongly, but never mind. Socrates and Plato, well, Socrates didn't write anything down. Plato wrote down, in theory, what Socrates had said. And this is my source for the dialogue and how to have a dialogical discussion. They're a little bit wacky if you actually read the Socratic dialogues. But once you understand his methodology, there's quite a lot of value in them. Of course, they're 2,000 years old, so the flow of the arguments is a bit iffy. There's one called the Protagoras, there's another one called the Meno, and so on. They'll take you like half an hour to read each one of them, and they should trigger off some thoughts and attitude, and they'll help you towards becoming an educated person. Now, there aren't enough educated people around in the world, so I'll be delighted if you can make yourself an educated person. Tacitus, I like his style. There's not that much written by Tacitus, but once you're into style and written style, Tacitus is fabulous. It's full of jokes, actually. Not many people sit there laughing at Tacitus, but he has such a dry sense of humour. And there's one I should add here is Pliny. I think there's Pliny the Elder and Pliny the Younger. They're interesting from a point of view of people's perception of the natural sciences. And jolly good storytelling. There's some stuff about the eruption of Vesuvius and so on. Then over here, this is kind of to do with my education and the businesses I've worked for. I did a degree in engineering at City University. I did a kind of master's thing at INSEAD in France. I've worked for all these different companies. I've actually been an employee of or a consultant to. More latterly, Cisco is the ones I helped develop their graduate recruits program and so on, along with colleagues, I have to say. It wasn't just me, by any means. I learned a terrific amount from my students, and I've also learned a great deal from my customers. Once you get a good relationship with your customers, it's such an enjoyable process because you're selling to them, you're learning from them, you're supplying stuff to them, and then you're helping them to make use of it and get a benefit for their organization, but also their end customers. So technology, this last 50 years or so of new computing with the advent of originally small computers, then big computers, and then the internet came along, all of this stuff has been a wonderful time to be out there on the front edge of computing, meeting people like Seymour Cray and so on, some brilliant people that I've met and had the privilege of working with. So my customers, I've had customers from the biggest banks in the world. Citicorp was one of my customers, and so on. So Shell Oil was one of my customers for 2 or 3 years. Manufacturing organizations with factories and stuff. Mining, most of that was in Latin America, would you believe? Oh, and Africa. Health, I've been super pleasant to work in health and improving health systems around the world, the flow of information within a health system so that patients get treated quickly and by the people with the greatest skills. Retail, would you believe I was actually, no, I'm not even going to talk about that one because people don't really like some of those retail companies. Logistics, weather, one of my most entertaining companies was called ECMWF. I don't even know if I put them on here. If I put it on again, never mind. But they were very European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasting. It's front of mind at the moment because that was 15 countries, all of whom had to sign the contract through the Council of Ministers. And it was I went with the director over to Brussels and he walked around the corridors getting all these top dudes in Europe to sign the contract. And it's a hot topic at the moment because Brexit is going on, the possible exit from Britain from Europe at the moment. So I watched that with interest because I've been involved myself in negotiating European level contracts with, in that case, it was 15 or 17 countries, and so on. So you can see public security, loads and loads of stuff on that, trying to protect the public against the bad dudes, really. So that's it. That's where I'm coming from. Now, I bothered to do that because other material you will see from other sources, they won't have anything like that under their belts. They won't, they just won't. And if you think that I've learned something from all these people, which I sincerely believe, then you can potentially benefit from it if you're prepared to apply yourself. So I won't bang on about it anymore, but I hope, given that one of those questions is this a credible source? You might say, yeah, it should be a credible source if the guy was listening, because he's read a lot and he's worked for a lot of people and he's worked in a lot of different industries. And you may be thinking of working in any of those industries. The only one I haven't worked in is academia. So if you're thinking you want to be in academia, then that's great. I don't know what you're going to need. I wouldn't pretend to teach you how to do that. But I can tell you that if you want to go into business, then this is the stuff that you are going to need to succeed. And that's it. I'm signing off now. Who knows what will happen next? I get on an aeroplane, I've got to fly 6,000 miles at approximately 600 miles an hour. So let's hope all goes well. And I'll say yet again, peace and love now.
Our goal, plan, mission, vision, call it what you like, all those business words, is to create a website which you can go to, hopefully for free. We haven't worked out how it'll be funded. Maybe there'll be sponsors, who knows. But it'll be a one-stop shop for you to learn all the soft skills that are going to help you with the subject called interpersonal dynamics, which is how you relate to other people and how you work constructively with other people, and also emotional intelligence, and also the applied functional intelligence, which is specific skills to write good proposals or do good presentations, or generally go into a negotiation and not get ripped off and come out with a win-win. So that's what we're hoping to achieve. Goodness knows how long it's going to take us, but we're working on it. There are some of the best people in the world, some of the best management trainers in the world, who normally cost, big bucks, but they're contributing to this project. And now you've found us, all being well, you're going to have the smarts to use it and explore your own potential and decide on your own direction in life. And what's most important of all is protect your mental health. Don't let the system drag you down. Don't jump off that high building. Hang in there. Find friends. Find people who will help you. They're not hard to find. 19 out of 20 people are positive thinkers and love helping other people. So, as we say at the end of nearly all these videos, peace and love, and go for it. Much love.
Only you can change your own world. And now that you've discovered us at the Institute of Practical Learning, you too can watch and learn just how to do it.
If you want to progress with developing your soft skills, then we are providing you the Institute of Practical Learning.org for you to watch Corbin go up the learning curve through a series of dialogues, which we've called the Corbin Dialogues. And you will see him progressing over a number of months, learning several of the key soft skills. And that is hopefully going to help you on your own journey. Good luck yet again.